Hi guys, my name is Borrodante. Let's finish detailing those 10 covers. Okay, so here we are. This is the cover that we're gonna start with today, but first let me tell you what I did between the episodes after reading your guys' comments. So in the Toilet Man, I changed the angle of this rubber part of the plunger so it would fit better with the angle of the arm that's basically facing the camera like this at the straight angle. So there should almost be no tilt here, and it was rotated a lot stronger, like this. So I changed it to this. And that's probably everything I did on this cover so far, between the episodes. Now, in the elevated suspension, I added a whole bunch of details to this sleeve thing, so it looks a lot more finalized now. And some polishing on the wide glove as well, from this to this. So I think it looks quite finalized now. And Kevin liked the first two fonts for the first two covers. Now the willow tree, I worked a little bit on the green leafy parts, because you guys said, and I totally agree, that it looked a bit not well defined enough. So now it looks kind of better, at least a bit more natural looking, not such a perfect dashed line like this. I wonder if I could make it work better by changing the settings of those brushes that I used to quickly paint these. So right now I added some natural mess like this. So there's that for the willow tree. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll increase the contrast on it, as I said in the previous episode in the end, but I don't know, for now it looks kind of good enough. Le fond de sens pittoresque. I applied the font that Kevin found. That's basically all I did. I replaced this font, this atrocity, with this nice and light thing. I think it's much better. Okay, so 3 Pelargonians. This is the cover that we finished the episode at, and it wasn't finished all that well before, so I did a whole bunch of work on detailing the skulls and the horse as well. From this, not from this though, from this to this. A lot of you guys said that the anatomy of the horse is not very good. So, I don't know, I applied a bunch of references and I looked through everything. Especially, like, the biggest change I made on the lowest joint, lowest bone of the legs. So it's not that broken anymore. And I showed a little bit of the hoof, because it looked kind of weird that all the hoofs are hidden. You know, like when you hide the hands of the character because you're not very good at painting hands? Well, hoofs are not that kind of situation, it's not that hard to paint a hoof. So yeah, I fixed all kinds of stuff here and there, I don't know, defined some muscles. It's probably still far from perfect, but I don't know, it seems much better now. Especially this bumpy thing at the bottom, like, I know it's like a jaw muscle of the horse or something. I moved it a bit forward, because that's where it should be, I suppose. So yeah, a bunch of little fixes here and there to make things work a bit better. I think it looks much nicer now. Sorry if you're really into horses and something is bothering you, but I don't know, I tried a lot. So yeah, and the skulls, I don't know, I again had a lot of fun. Also, I added a bunch of swirlies, because this is the story that takes place in the universe of the Harench. This is the universe where the whole Outlandish Curiosity is happening, that huge book that we've been working on, and we'll continue working on it soon, by the way. We took quite a break there, but yeah, the swirlies in all the nature is one of the very important features of the universe, so I added them here. And this is the font that Kevin found, and it also has these tiny spiky swirlies in it, so it kind of fits in this sense. I don't know, it kind of looks nice. And yeah, a lot more of defined skulls everywhere. I think it turned out really cool. So there's that. 5 finished covers. Still have to approve it with Kevin, but I think we're really close at least. Now, moving on to here, let me show you what else I changed. Well, nothing here so far, nothing here. Oh yeah, this is what I did quite a lot. I applied some of the effects to the text, so it looks like it's engraved in the stone. We'll play a lot more with the colors of the thing, I suppose, and add some more actually painted details to the texture and the geometry of the letters. But at least it definitely looks a lot better than it used to. Okay, so let's go back to the mystery of the Crooked Mountain. So here, let's go through all the nature, make it more detailed. That's the bottom line of what we should do. But aside from that, Kevin asked to make all these huts even more interesting and more fantasy-like. He dropped some of the references for me, so this is the kind of direction that we should take. So we'll make that happen. And what else? Yeah, detail the characters a bit more, and that will be about it. So let's go ahead and start. Probably with the huts, and then with the characters to actually bring in all the details that we need to bring in, and then just push everything to the finalized state. So I think I'm done here, looking pretty dope. I applied some new ideas with the rings of clouds, the road, hope Kevin will approve, and also I replaced the second hut with a bunch of sheep, because Kevin asked to remove the second house because it was kind of distracting. So yeah, now we have the sheep and the 3 guys. I think it's pretty good. Maybe we'll change the font later, but I think the artwork is pretty much done. Moving on. Oh boy. Okay, so in here, basically we need to make details a lot more sharp. Define the drop of the blood hitting the surface over here a bit better, because right now it still looks like it's something else. And maybe work a little bit on the texture of the skin in general, to make it feel a bit more like the skin. So yeah, that's about it. Let's start. Okay, done with the democracy. Really love the result. Especially the fact that I apparently really managed to pull off the feel of an actual cut in the skin. And all that is thanks to the fact that I continued every cut with a non-bloody, semi-transparent cut where there's no blood but just a little cut in the skin, which is a natural beginning of any cut of the skin. So that made it look actually like a cut. I don't know, it looks really good if you ask me. So yeah, worked around all of the details, added some specks, some of the highlights and dark spots of the skin material in general, but most importantly is the shape of all the cuts, which was the main thing to do. Also, what I did is I flipped the concave-convex factor of the blood inside of the cut. Previously, I did all the blood sticking out of the cut. Like all of the cuts were filled with blood and they are like thick drops inside. But that's not the way the cut goes. Mostly when it's a deep cut, we have like a concave shape of the blood in here. And only somewhere it sticks out where there are actual drops of blood being collected. And aside from that, everything is inner curve. So that actually also helped a lot to make a good impression of a cut. So yeah, I think it's really cool. Especially, I love the way the democracy looks like with all these super sharp and long cuts like this. And they're all intersecting in a way. Looks really painful and wow. So yeah, there's that. I hope I pulled off the drop of the blood in here. I know it's probably far from perfect, but it's apparently kind of a hard thing to do because it's a non-typical kind of thing to witness in general. We only see this kind of stuff in photographs, and when it's painted, it's like human eyes like, what is that? So that's probably the problem. Like, it's possible to make it even better, but it would take forever, I think. So yeah, really happy with the result. I think it's really cool. So moving on to the most complex cover of all, the liminal subliminal. So the main thing we're gonna have to do here is to kind of like straighten up the title itself using the guidance of this working font I have in here, just to follow the straight order of the letters. Nothing more than that we need from it, because it still has to be like the lines like this, the lines that connect these dots. It should just continue basically, maybe be a bit brighter. And then we'll go around all of the details and make everything a bit cleaner. And maybe highlight even brighter silhouettes somewhere, somehow. But that's about it, actually. This super detailed cover, it's mostly done already, so that's good. I mean, it'll take a few hours to finish, I think, to make sure everything is precise enough. So let's get on with it. Also, good morning. Moving on with the brains. Oh my god, I'm done. Also, I need a break. This was quite intense. It's been a while since I detailed things so thoroughly. Added some extra glow to the center of the composition and the contours of the brain. I think it's kinda cool. Gonna make a good poster. Anyway, we'll move on to the next cover in a second. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'm still happy with everything, except for maybe let's blend away the background gradient a little bit. It's kind of rough looking. Great. Moving on. So it's time for the horses once again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look up more horse references for the anatomy. I think I still have the reference for this horse, specifically this pose, and maybe even this pose, I don't remember. So I'm gonna try to make a good sense out of everything, and maybe play around with the style a little bit, maybe add something unusual to the way the horses are visualized. Because Kevin had an idea that this way it kind of looks even more interesting when there's something with the silhouettes showing up. So maybe we'll give that a try, add some kind of black silhouettes. We're not gonna be using these messy ones, of course, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's gonna look awesome as is with the effects of the material that we have at the moment. So yeah, let's start. Okay, done with the horses. I think the anatomy seems decent enough. I increased the amount of the dust coming from the floor. Seems kinda cool and brings something for the eye to look at this blank area. Man, the head of the main horse looks so much better in the new version. Like, what is this? Go home. And you're cool. And I also did the contour version that looks like this. I don't know, I think the original is better, the non-contour version. But why not? Maybe Kevin would like to bring in some surreal rendering to this, so it may work. So yeah, there's that, and now we're left with the main cover. we're gonna be fixing the rectangular areas by removing them and keeping just the smooth decor things and applying them here and there. Also, Kevin asked me to do this thing where in this verse to make all of the letters capital. Yeah, like this. Like even the ones that are smaller, they're still capital letters. I wonder, there's probably a name for it if I hold the cursor here. Small caps. I like it. So yeah, that will be it for the fix. And we'll start with the redesign and then move on with rendering this in a much more of a realistic and interesting way. We'll increase the contrast on the shadows, add some mold maybe, or, you know, the vertical dark lines from the rain and whatnot. So that'll be cool. Also, we need to decide on the color of the letters because they're kind of weird right now. So yeah, that's the plan. Let's start right now. Okay, so this is it. As I mirrored it, it looks pretty impressive, I think. I love this area, this is really cool. This stuff right here, it's kind of like feathers. They're all like scales coming out, so there will be soft shading from dark to light, and then again from dark to light. So it's gonna look pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna approve this with Kevin, and then if he likes it, I'll go ahead and render it, and you guys can see the end result in the actual book. As well as an extra cover for the 10th story that Kevin decided to add recently, so I'm gonna be working on it later on my own without recording, and it's gonna be pretty big and awesome, by the way. So there's that. Let's go through the covers that we covered in this episode. Did we start with this one? I think so. I don't remember already. It's been 3 days in a row. Oh, this is so good. I don't know, I love this one. As well as Kevin, by the way, I showed that to him already. Then Drops of Democracy, oh my god. This is really cool. Looks painful indeed. I want to liquefy this drop of blood a little bit. It still bothers me, as well as everyone else, I suppose. Yeah, an important part of this kind of phenomenon of the crown of the drop hitting the surface is that it's supposed to be actually very much perfectly round, I guess. Because I think it already looks much better as I'm fixing the shape in general. Oh yes. I mean, it's probably still far from perfect. Well yeah, this looks, comparing to this crooked version, this one really works so much better. So there's that. Last moment fix. Oh boy. Yeah, this is really cool. I'm glad I fixed the spine a lot, like with Liquify initially, because it was kind of skewed a bit. Alright, Psychedelia, 2 versions, and the title, yes please. I don't know, these contours are actually working pretty cool when you look at it with the title. Feels really right, kind of better than this one I think. I don't know, something cool about it. And this one still needs more work, of course. I think it's gonna change quite a lot. It's not gonna be just flat gray like this in the end, but we'll see where it gets. But for now, this is it. Tell me guys what you think about the result. Was it interesting to see 10 covers painted in about 30 hours, I think? Maybe more, maybe 40 hours, especially counting the sketching that I didn't do in the episodes. But yeah. I thank you for watching if you did. I guess you did if you're here. Leave a like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Work a lot if you can. Do whatever you want. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. For some reason I need to move all the text downwards a little bit now. Yeah, this way it looks much better.